Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Super Sensitive Show. My name is Daria, and we are here today with Mark Krzepis.
Howdy.
Episode today is going to be Stop Polishing Your Last Gold Medal. And we're here with Mark. Mark is an illustrator, fellow illustrator. You go to OCAD with me. How are you finding it so far?
Team illustration.
Team illustration. They finally got us in one room together.
Finally.
We're going to cause some ruckus.
I hope one day to graduate where we actually have a thesis space that isn't full of iPads.
We're going to be waiting a while. I tried to actually get into the thesis space, and I tapped my student card, and it didn't let me in. It didn't let me in.
You can't graduate.
So your Instagram bio is non-award-winning illustrator.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's talk about self-defined success. Like, how would you define your success?
I'd say it's very personal success.
Yeah.
Success that isn't drawn from receiving some sort of title or receiving some sort of honors. It's just sort of reaching my own personal milestones and hitting my own goals as an illustrator.
Yeah. I feel like we follow sort of each other on Instagram, and I feel like that's the best way to follow somebody's art journey. And I feel like when I saw the hug illustration that you did for, I don't know the name of the wrestlers. Logan Paul? Boxers.
And Floyd Mayweather.
Okay. I feel like that got a lot of attention just because of like the event that it was recording. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it's the piece on my Instagram that has the most likes. So
you're famous now.
Yeah, I made that piece, and then I felt immediately horrible after. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, there's people like commenting who are just like, obviously like, you know, thought it was a meme, you know, just like, oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, geez, I exploited a trend.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. And then I never
for sure.
hit that threshold of likes again. That's the thing with social media and illustration, or just art making, or just content creating.
Yeah.
You know, is that becomes our award. That becomes the thing we strive for.
That's true.
Just, getting likes.
Yeah, like you're the guy who did the Gustav Klimt Floyd Mayweather illustration.
Exactly. In no point in history have we had this like sort of instant rating system for art.
It's true. It's like a constant validation. I don't know about you, but like every time I post something, how many likes is it getting? Is it more popular? Yeah. Is it the piece that is defining my current illustration style? Yeah. Right? And it feels like everybody's looking all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm like a crack addict with social media, you know? It's just like you make a piece, it's just like, I need that instant, you know?
Need the instant, need to post the process, need to post it, like, is it on the website? That's where I'm going with the whole stop polishing your last gold medal thing, because I feel like once you have a piece that is super successful in terms of social media, or like even if you do like a commission, so for example, the Eaton Center billboards, like that was a huge thing, not only on social media, but like for the company, right? And for their PR. And that leads me to think like, oh, this is my big break. You know, like this is my like one thing that gets me out in public and is by definition the most successful thing. And it's like, well, how do you come back from that?
You sort of just get typecast into what gets you the most likes. And nothing bugs me more than an artist who is just so... they do too much of the same, you know, just keep repeating the same face, the same motif, the same image over and over again. It's like to be a like machine. Yeah. It's too safe. It's non-experimental. It's not challenging to people who enjoy your art.
Have you ever found yourself in that state?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, earlier on, I would look at pieces that have generated a lot of attention, and then I just sit and spin like, oh my God, it's been 3 days. They're gonna forget who I am. Yeah. They're gonna unfollow me. So then I just have no idea for a painting, and I just sit in front of a canvas and just like, okay, I'll make something that's kind of similar to this, shapes and whatnot,
Yeah.
and then do it, and then it'll be like a terrible illustration because there's
Yeah.
no intent behind it other than
Yeah.
to post something.
I don't know. It's almost like a cliff, right? It's like you're kind of like, you know, do I try something new? Do I push myself, or it's like, you know, do I kind of stay in that safe territory? And I feel like everything good is lying, you know, beneath, right? Like everything new and exciting and the things that motivate you to do your own work is lying past that sort of barrier of safety, you know,
Yeah.
of like what you're absolutely certain that you already know how to do. And I think it's intimidating when we go to a school like OCAD and it's like, it feels like these illustration profs all have this consistent style and they all consistently stick to it and they have this huge body of work. And it's like, well, they're doing that and they seem to be okay.
Likes and social media stuff where you can quantify where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like Picasso doesn't have Instagram. Basquiat doesn't have Instagram. Technically, I have more followers than Basquiat and Picasso combined. You know, so it doesn't matter. It's just so ridiculous.
If you can ride the high of the evolution of your own work, I feel like that's enough. But I guess in terms of like career, it's a whole different story.
Because if you look at some OCAD professors, you can find them on Instagram. They have like maybe like 100 followers, you know, but they have like a giant oeuvre of work and like a big portfolio and a huge CV of stuff they did.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see pages on Instagram where they have thousands of followers, but like they're all robots. See, social media is a double-edged sword because there's that aspect of it, but it is also the way that artists connect with other people.
Yeah.
It is you can't avoid it if you want to be an artist in contemporary times.
There's also that whole aspect of with client work, when you do one thing for one company and another company sees it and they're like, well, I want that, but I want it in a different font for like my company, right? And then you kind of get stuck in that vicious cycle of maybe I do have to stick to this one style. So I feel like that's something that I'm trying to balance with. Like when I think of my work, I think of it like almost like different categories. Like I have that client, and we were talking about this on the on your podcast, where it was like I have this one style and that's like the corporate thing that, you know, people can reach out to me and I can still do that and I can still get paid for that. But it's like I also have this whole other world of like, you know, I'm getting more into painting and I'm getting more into other media, and it's like maybe one day it'll kind of marry. But especially when you're just starting out, you sort of have to be willing to do certain things.
Yeah, and is social media success really the goal? Like I know this.
It's like validation.
Yeah, I know this muralist who made a reel that got really popular, got like over 10,000 views, and you just look at the comments, and it's all just like people who just it ended up in their explore page, just like all hate comments and stuff. It's just like, is that success?
Or it's like those art bots. They're like arrow share to
share to
DM this to artlove.com and get featured on the exactly. Blech.
That's the award I want to win.
That's the real award for an illustrator.
You know? It's just like at an award show, just, you know, get up, like shake all the art bots' hands. That's how I feel when I get like 10 of them.
It seems I do understand your attitude somewhat anyway, because I go through a similar process every so often. I have an agonizing reprisal of my work and change everything as much as possible and hate everything I've done and try to do something entirely different and better. Maybe that kind of process is necessary to me, pushing me on and on. That feeling that I can do better than that shit I just did. Maybe you need your agony to accomplish what you do, and maybe it goads you on to do better. But it is very painful, I know. It would be better if you just had the confidence just to do the stuff and not even think about it. Can't you leave the world and art alone and also quit fondling your ego? I know that you or anyone can only work so much, and the rest of the time you're left with your thoughts. But when you work, or before you work, you have to empty your mind and concentrate on what you are doing. After you do something, it is done. Do you feel like that's also necessary?
I absolutely do think it is necessary because, like to call back on an earlier point, being trapped in a box and doing the same thing over and over again is safe. You're trying to avoid that agony because you know what works, and then there's no room for growth after that. Right? That's how people never end up developing a style. They do the first thing that is different and just
Right.
like, okay, that's it. I'm going to do this forever now.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize is art, as much as it is a comfort, it's also a struggle. It's just like any
Yeah.
other industry,
Yeah.
any other success you want to gain in life comes through hardship,
Yeah.
through struggle. You're not going to make the best piece every single time, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not a linear thing where the
Yeah.
next one's going to be better. It fluctuates.
Yeah.
And if that's your goal to always feel good,
Yeah.
nothing's going to happen.
So, Mark, I want you on this little person that we have here from Dollarama. I would like you to draw out what happens to you when you sit down to work.
Oh, what?
When you have a project or a deadline or something that needs to be done when it comes to art, just draw out what happens in your body.
What happens in my body? Okay, first
Yeah.
of all, I don't know how to communicate this, but let's say pain right about, this is the back, by the way, that's not.
Oh, this is the back. Okay.
This is-
Okay, that's good to know.
You know what?
I'm gonna do mine from the front.
You know, yeah, add some back muscles so
Oh,
you're able to
okay.
figure out,
Just so I know that it's yours, right?
just so it doesn't look like a like pubic area or something.
No, definitely.
Yeah, so it's like some sort of a lumbar pain right there, just agonizing, the knees get locked up as well.
my hands actually go numb, completely numb.
Yeah, this does not look like a back. I've failed anatomy. And pain right there in the neck, just using this color to signify pain.
That's color coding is good.
And then some
It's
sort
seasoned illustrator right here.
of, mental anguish,
Yeah.
but also the fog. So this is
The brain fog.
this is the fog.
My dad always told me the more we look at screens, our eyes are gonna turn square. So I'm gonna make one of my eyes square from looking at a screen because we work on iPads now. If you didn't get the memo,
Of course, yeah.
we only do digital illustration. I remember in what class were we in together? Color and 2D design. When we had to make that zine, and you were like, you whipped out your Chromebook and was trying to figure out InDesign.
Yeah.
Remember?
I think that was that was another class. It was like something with shapes. I don't know.
Colors.
No,
No?
it wasn't the color one. That was like composition.
Oh, you're right. 2D.
Something.
2D something.
Two to where it's all 2D. My girlfriend says I have this thing called happy toes.
Happy toes.
Like my toes are always like moving in my songs. I never noticed. So even though I'm experiencing all this agonizing pain,
You're still got the happy toes.
my toes are
Yep.
more like a muscle spasm from my body is just like has to move something because I'm so locked in.
You're locked in, and you know what? Like, do you see the processes that we go through? We live like this. We live like this.
My belly is empty because I sacrifice food for art.
Because, like a real artist.
Yeah,
Where's the bogey?
it's like when I'm indoors, it's a vape. They don't want to waste it.
It's an e-vape.
They say a hobby is something that you do casually.
Oh.
But art is not a hobby. That's like my life. Eating is a hobby.
Yeah. So, you got your lungs in there.
Oh yeah, the lungs.
Lungs, and we're just breathing in art.
It's your lungs and your neck there. It's not very healthy.
Do I look like a biologist? I'm an illustrator.
Oh yeah, fair.
Yeah, I mean, also my hair starts to fall out.
That's my mouth.
So all this to show to those of you watching at home that art is a detriment to, no, I'm kidding. We all go through these processes as creators, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Even some of the most famous illustrators, most well-known on Instagram, but technically non-award-winning illustrators, also go through these sorts of look at this.
Absolutely. That's not typical of my artwork.
Pity him. Pity him.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, that's all we have for today.
thank you so much, Mark, for joining me.
No problem.
I'll have you back for a part 2.
Hell yeah.
And
Heck.
thanks for watching. You're tuning into the Super Sensitive Show. You can follow Mark over here and check out his art and get him more followers. And you can check me out right over here, as well as Super Sensitive right over here. And we will see you next week. Bye.